Welcome to Sitting with Shay J. Today we're shining a light on the impactful work of the Urban Leadership Foundation, an organization that's dedicated to cultivating diverse leadership within communities. I'm excited because joining us today is the CEO and President, Dr. Ryan Ross. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Dr. Ross, I've been seeing all the things that's been happening in the community via this vehicle. When we think about cultivating diverse leadership and why it's so vital, why do you think it is vital for our communities right here to have this diverse leadership?
Well, it's important because, I always tell people thriving is a right, not a privilege, right? And then when everybody's thriving, when every community's thriving, everybody's benefiting, right? And we live in a society where systems are set up for people not to thrive. And we just want to turn that on its head. We want people to, be able to participate in Colorado. Everybody's here, so we want to live, work, and play together. We want economic and social vitality. We want professionals to be able to excel in their careers.
Absolutely.
And most importantly, understand the importance of taking their ability to excel and serve in the community's interest.
Wow, I love that because it's so necessary. I see a lot of people that come out of training from your program and how they actually thrive because they feel comfortable in their skin and in their leadership abilities. So yeah. I love to see that. When I look at the Urban Leadership Foundation, I know you have several programs. Can you tell us about some of those key programs and what some of those skills are that you come out with?
Yeah, our marquee program is our ULF Connect program. It's a 10-month leadership development program where we take 30 to 40 participants on this 10-month journey. They get about 30 sessions, and we're focusing on interpersonal leadership. We're focusing on mental wellness and healing, right? Because you can't lead yourself or anyone else if you're broken and on the inside, right? And so we want to take the time to invest in ourselves. Then we move into business and ethics, philanthropy. We have a section on golf.
Wow.
And also now skiing, because these are places where different kinds of conversations happen,
Absolutely.
right? And these are the places where you can meet people. I mean, you think about golf, right? You play a round of golf, you're like, whoa, I'm out here for 4 or 5 hours, but you're actually only playing for like 38 minutes. The rest of the time is conversation, is building, is sharing your narrative, is understanding other folks. So we try to create these experiences where our leaders can go, thrive, learn, share amongst themselves, and most importantly, bring all that back to the community and to politics to understand authorizing environment and really know how to make a difference.
Wow. And I love that you use golf because we know that that's where a lot of money deals are, right? But
Absolutely.
we also know we don't see a lot of people that look like us. So to see this actually moving in a momentum in Colorado is a beautiful thing. I'm witnessing this happening on my timeline every day.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm looking at the ripple effect of leadership and development, and I think it often extends from the individual to the community. How have you seen what the foundation has done really affect our community on the broader scale?
Oh man, the ripple effect is the perfect metaphor because that's what we're trying to do. We want to help people actualize and inspire them so they go out in the community and do things. And so you're seeing things like HBCU trips happening. Yeah. You're seeing legislation, record and legacy-oriented legislation happening. You're seeing, giving circles created. You're seeing elected officials, leading in our community. You're seeing new CEOs first. All those kinds of things. And that's what we're really doing in our organization. So the goal is to train, develop, inspire, and push out into community.
Well, I'm so grateful I'm a part of this community because as you were saying this, I was thinking of all those individuals and they've been right here on Sitting with Shay J and realizing they really started at ULFC. Like, this is beautiful to see the action of this.
Yeah.
When we're looking at the leadership development and the critical role of diversity, equity, inclusion, how do you make sure urban leadership really helps foster that DEI work?
Well, the funny thing is our community is already about that work, right? We're, and it centers on our experience, right? When we look at the different isms we face in the world and we look at the different success indicators, and people from the Black and African American communities are typically on the lower end or on the negative side of those gaps. And there's huge gaps between us and our white counterparts. And so what we really want to do is just level the playing field, right? Instead of having this conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're really shifting the conversation to thriving in economics.
Yes.
Because if you thrive and there's economic vitality, by default, you're going to address diversity, equity, inclusion. right?
Do you feel like, I'm seeing DEI really being removed from a lot of spaces. Do you feel like this is something that is going to be at large, or we see DEI taken away and so we have to show up differently, or what does that look like?
You know, actually, it looks like what the world has looked like, right? If you go all the way back to the Emancipation Proclamation, 1865, 1867, you had Reconstruction. And that was one of the most successful times in our community. We had elected officials, we owned land, right? We started to have this Renaissance era, and then oppression and oppressive systems flatten us out, right? You see that happening throughout the timeline. We can, you know, point to FDR and the New Deal. We can look at the Truman Act and community colleges. We were having a conversation about free college in 1947, right? But every time these conversations that move the community forward come, we see something flatline it, right?
Absolutely.
George Floyd. You know, here we are, you know, 3-4 years later, and now we're seeing these conversations trying to stop this movement, right? And so it's about people trying to flex power rather than purpose. And so it's really important for us to build leaders who are living in their purpose to go out and mitigate this and be unapologetic and very intentional about saying diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, economics, housing, all these things are rights and not privileges.
Ooh, it's a right and not a privilege. You're speaking to my soul. I always tell everybody it's so important to find your purpose and live in it, because you show up even when it gets hard, right?
Yeah.
You show up and you say, I belong here because it's a part of my purpose.
Absolutely.
I know something that's a part of your purpose is the 2024 ULFC Leadership Legacy Walk Your Achievement Gala fundraiser. Tell me about what this year is going to look like.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. The gala this year, we are downtown, you know, the beautiful skyline at the Sewell Ballroom. We are honoring people like Dr. Seal Morgan Smith, who's our living legend, Greg Moore, who's our trailblazer, some really, really amazing unsung heroes like Topaz McBride and Joel Hodge, and we got our web recipients, Dr. Janice Mackey, Dwayne Ruff, Median. Oh my goodness, Christian Stewart. We're just gonna
community.
Yeah, like we are really pulling together the people who deserve their flowers, and then we're wrapping all that in celebration and excellence, and then we're gonna party with Dave Hollister, right?
You can't just drop Dave Hollister's name like he's nobody. Now, I might be dating myself, but if you know Dave Hollister, you know you're in for a great time. Tell our people how they can be a part of this experience.
Just go to our website, ulfcolorado.org, click on events, purchase a ticket, come on out and come out and also support the organization. We're a nonprofit organization. We have, over the last 17 years, provided nearly $500,000 in scholarships and support. We have a new scholarship at the Community College of Aurora supporting kids and people in the community. And so this gala is a celebration, but it's also our opportunity to raise some funds so we can continue to give back to the community.
Oh, this is a program worth giving back to. Finally, for my viewers out there, if you want to support this mission of the Urban Leadership Foundation, please, you are contributing to the next generation of diverse leaders, and it's necessary for our vitality. So go to ulfccolorado.org and please be a part of the change. Anything you want to leave our viewers with?
I just want to leave people with understanding that difference is good. Right? And we need to celebrate that. We're in a time of really interesting times politically and socially. And so get active, get out and vote. Whatever your voice is, whatever it is you believe, you need to go and share it. We are individuals. They say there's a 1 in 400 billionth chance that somebody is just like you.
Wow.
So if that's the case, anytime you're not using your voice, everybody's missing out. So it's really important to be intentional about using our voice because we have one.
Dr. Ross dropping that knowledge. You guys know what it is. It's impactful stories and impactful work happening, and we are applauding you and what you're doing with ULFC. It is imperative that we keep going on this trajectory of supporting these organizations that are doing the work right here in our community. It's clear that you're developing strong, diverse leaders, and we see you and we salute you for what you're doing. So there are your flowers while you're still here.
Well, viewers,
make sure, again, you want to learn more about the foundation, go to ulfcolorado.org, and stay tuned for more inspiring conversations right here on Sitting with Shay J.